Hi, I'm Georgia Rose, founder of the Zencuda community. And today, this is a first in a series of videos where I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how Zencuda originated, how it was born, what the energy of Zencuda really means, and a little bit about my journey. So, Zencuda and the Zencuda community was born from a spiritual shift that I underwent. I call it now the whispers of my soul, because I really started to undergo a transformation, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, which is you're living your life and you're fairly successful or you've accomplished some of the things that you really want to accomplish in your life, but there's still something missing. And so a lot of things in my life started to unravel right after these whispers started for me. And the whisper was sort of like a gentle dissatisfaction, I have to say, but it didn't feel like I was fully present. It didn't feel like it really resonated with the deepest part of me. And so I found myself starting to really look for more meaning in my life. And I wasn't even sure what that meaning was. I didn't even know what I was seeking or searching, but I knew that there had to be more. And that the life that I was living, it almost felt like it was somebody else's, not mine. And I came to realize that almost everything up until that point in my life that I had accomplished or that I had worked hard for or that I was striving, climbing the ladder to, was not really my dream. A lot of it was other people's dreams. And I had all these things in my life that were really becoming pressure, not joyful for me. And I was really in this reinvention phase, coming into inner strength and being really strong in what I called my Zen and not letting other outside forces disturb me and being on the path to my true authenticity, which I knew was the spiritual world and some of the gifts that I was given. And so one day I was in my real estate office because, of course, I still had to make a living at that. And I was getting really dissatisfied with the business, but the soul was calling, and I was getting the calling to really transform into this spiritual place. And I knew that I wanted to create a spiritual place for people who were undergoing what I was going through, these transformations, which is a beautiful word that we use to romanticize it. But when we're in that reinvention period and really listening to that whisper of truth in our soul, it's tough. It's a lot of loss. It's a lot of reintegration of energy that we don't understand. It's really can be very painful. And it's a time of deep introspection. So I was in my office and I had started on Monday nights to open my office to spiritual people. And every week we would have another guest come in, either a psychic or a Reiki or a person or a healer or someone who would speak a little bit and then give us a little workshop. So I really had my foot in both worlds. And so this gentleman came in one day who was a builder, a local builder, and he stampeded in and he walked past my secretary and he came through my French doors and he said, "Are you Georgia?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I heard you were a barracuda and I want you to represent my project." And it was like a turning point moment in our life. And I realized that the turning points in our life usually come not with some big grand gestures, but just, again, that little whisper in our ear, that little whisper of the soul. It sounds almost like angels. And so as he said this, I realized that he was, putting me on a pedestal and this career had been so rewarding and I had this beautiful reputation where people wanted to come to me because I was going to protect their interests. And inside me, something just died. I realized that none of it resonated with me anymore. And I was literally insulted because I wanted to be recognized for my authenticity, not what I had accomplished in life, not what I did for a living, but who I really was. And so it really started me on a deep, deep, ambitious, determined, disciplined spiritual path that became the energy of Zencuda. So Zencuda is for people who are undergoing that transformation, who are on some portion of that path, whether it's the beginning or whether you've really accomplished and you're in your own authority and you're authentic. Zencuda is that energy. It's the energy of living passionately, listening to those whispers that we get in our soul that can really light the way to not only our transformation, but our reinvention into authenticity. And I went to a lot of different modalities. I had a lot of different healers that helped me and mentors. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the next video in the series. And that's really the energy of Zencuda defined. So we're not barracudas, we're Zencudas. So I hope you'll join me on Monday nights at 7 o'clock on the Soul Space podcast and in our next video, which is going to be all about the mentors that I found and my journey